2025. We are in Innsbruck, Austria, and I know it's all very dark and you can only see me in a glimpse, but that's because we've just had a fantastic performance by Power Jam. I'm Dork Mistress, and I'm going to be joined by Bob de Quickly. He's running around doing the last-minute logistics, and what we're going to do over the next 90 minutes is bring you the team parade, one of the highlights of the experience for skaters at the World Cup. What we're going to do over the next probably 90 minutes is we are going to see each of the teams that have competed in the Roller Derby World Cup 2025 will come into the anthem that they have chosen. They will come and get sort of the appreciation of the audience, and we are going to gather together to celebrate this incredible 4-day experience, which has been emotional, overwhelming, and loud, hot, but has had the best roller derby. As you're probably fully aware, we still have the third and fourth game to play after this team parade, and then we will be going into the final. We now know that the third, fourth game will be England versus France, and we will be having Australia and USA roller derby in the final. And Bob is able to join us. Always a few last-minute things to be sorted, Bob.
Welcome, Dork Mistress. Thank you very much. We're about to get this parade underway very shortly.
So the teams will be coming in alphabetical order, apart from Team France and Team England, who will be coming in early. They are playing in the third, fourth game, so they want to come in, be part of the experience, but then they will be leaving because they need to recover ahead of their game in about 2.5 hours' time.
Entirely reasonable. So there's a little bit of a delay just while we make sure everything is in order for this parade to commence.
To put it into context, we are talking about nearly 1,000 skaters who have competed at this World Cup with 48 countries. So it's going to be, it's a large logistical operation, and I kind of now feel I know what the Olympics organisers have been going through.
And it looks like we may be about ready to get underway. I'm just looking for a cue from our wranglers.
You're getting to see behind the scenes, but on your stream. And here we go, that is the start. As you can no doubt hear, the wonderful Scarlett O'Hare introducing the teams and the parade.
Tell you what, Dork Mistress, it's absolutely amazing to be able to bring this to you on the stream, but also free for anybody to watch anywhere in the world, thanks to 888 on the Roller Derby World Cup's YouTube channel.
And we've been using YouTube quite heavily during the tournament with the morning show. And here we go, this is Équipe de France. So as we're aware, in the third, fourth playoff, but the first time that France has reached this stage in the Roller Derby World Cup, they were, I don't think they even made the top 8 in 2018.
Yeah, what a coup. It's going to be great to see in our stream coverage a little bit later on. We will have a French language stream for the 3-4 final.
And so, you know, France to get here have won 3 games in the first 3 days, and won their won their quarterfinal when they were playing Sweden. Now, the rankings suggest Sweden were going to win, but France took quite the win.
It was a nail-biter in Tyrol Arena here at Olympiaworld in Innsbruck, Austria. It was one of the fullest stadiums I had seen to date.
And it's worth noting that the Équipe de France were one of the first national teams to actually select, and they have put a huge amount of time into training together as a team. They do whole weekends at a time, so they really get to know each other. 3 teams in the WFTDA top 10 in Europe.
Yep.
And you can just see that growth and strength in French roller derby.
Absolutely, it's been magic. What a sight to see these teams walking proudly around this arena, waving to the crowd. carrying their national emblems and emblems of support.
And I've actually participated in one of these myself, and it is the feeling is very hard to put into words what it is like.
Yeah.
So, and I think France is just getting together as we have entering. We have it will be next, as you can see.
Yeah, France just making a quick statement before England roller derby into the arena.
And actually, although you've heard the French national anthem, they've actually rewritten the lyrics to reflect the inclusive values that Equipe de France hold dearly.
Team France there completing their statement.
And now we await the entry of England roller derby.
May I present to you my best friends, the best athletes I have ever met, the classiest humans. We are England roller derby, and track is inside our bodies.
England traditionally one of the strongest nations in roller derby, having competed in the semi-finals at every roller derby World Cup since 2011, and will be competing against France in that third-fourth playoff game. So both teams very keen to get the medal. So England have been preparing by intensive seasons of training weekends, 7 practice games with European teams. And they didn't actually select their team, I think, until February, because they really wanted to be able to compress it all and spend a lot of time together very shortly. And what they really wanted to achieve here was showcasing the best of English roller derby and competing for a medal, which they get to do at about 3:30.
Forgive me if I'm a little bit silent, Dork Mistress, but I'm getting a little bit emotional watching with 2 teams into 48.
Yeah.
And just watching the enjoyment and pride of these national teams entering the arena is genuinely heartwarming.
Yeah. I think we are both struggling a little bit, it's fair to say. So, and as we say, England and France will be leaving because they want to go and recover, but we wanted to make sure that they had this opportunity. So, that was France and England, 2 down, 46 to go. So, and now we move on to alphabetical order. Now, one of the next team up is one of the ones I've enjoyed watching most. That's Argentina. What we are doing with each Yeah, what we're doing and we're asking each team to do is to be able to represent themselves in their home language and to introduce, you know, sort of who they are to the audience here at home and on the stream. So Argentina made it through to the quarterfinals.
Absolutely, pretty, perhaps a little bit of a surprise for some.
Traditionally, I think we're 8th in 2018 and 8th in 2014. But I think with, you know, so much competition this year, there was no guarantee. But a very strong performance against Black Diaspora took them through to the quarterfinals, and then England playing them to get into the semi-finals. But it was close. It was a really, really close game for the first half. Argentina able to hold back England until that sort of second half.
Absolutely. Always a crowd favourite at World Cup events as well. They bring the joy, they bring the energy, and they bring the national pride that you see them parading around the S1 Arena here at the moment.
And Argentina is a real powerhouse of Latin American roller derby. And next on the track,
Australia.
So this is Australia coming onto the track with giving again a statement showing their values.
Australia is and always will be Aboriginal land.
Got to say, I'm a little bit extra proud to see Team Australia walking into the arena at the moment. They have a reduced contingent attending the parade right now. Some of the athletes staying in preparation for the gold medal match later into the day.
But I think what it shows is just how many people it takes to support getting 15 on track. You know, these are people who have support in organisational or, you know, a sort of medical coaching, all those aspects that are important to getting the best team on track.
There are definitely some players there. I can see a few people that I recognise.
Yeah. So that is Team Australia.
Australia's chosen anthem or song for this tournament has been this version of We Are Australia, voiced by the Pitjantjatjara people.
And now introducing Team Babushka. So this is a small contingent who have come a long way to be here. You can hear the support in the audience. So Team Babushka are skaters of Russian descent who are representing the people of Russia. And they have had a number of challenging games. You know, it is a team that is going to struggle to be able to compete internationally and get that experience, but I think they've had the most amazing time here. They've brought joy every time they are on track.
They're a tiny contingent, and they've had a heap of fun. And I really love their logo, the kitten with the little babushka scarf. As Babushka make their way around the S1 track here at Olympiaworld in Innsbruck, Austria.
I think one of the most fun games that we watched was Team Babushka versus Team Desi. If you saw that,
that was a fun one.
Yeah.
Not playing for any chance at the finals, but playing for fun and pride and love for the roller derby.
So that's Team Belgium entering, in case you hadn't guessed. So Team Belgium, one of those other teams that really made a leap forward this year. So in 2014, Team Belgium were in the round of 16. In 2018, Belgium came 16th. And in the Roller Derby World Cup 2025, Belgium came 8th.
Made it into the top 8, into the quarterfinals round.
Top 8.
And they've brought this energy with them to every game.
I mean, this was essentially their, how they started every single game. No need to conserve the energy. And it's just, again, it's the story of the last 7 years is the growth in roller derby in Europe. The next chapter will be another continent, and Belgium are evidence of how far things have come.
I remember very early in the tournament, Dork, you said you thought Belgium were entering this tournament slightly underrated.
Yeah, I'm a little smug about that. A little bit smug.
Yeah, and they have ended up in the top 8.
Yeah. So they've been holding full-day practices once a month, and they have competed against 6 different European countries in their preparations for this World Cup.
Goodness me. Another correct. You can hear Black Diaspora making a loud and proud statement as they enter the arena.
I think one of the true joys of roller derby is the ability to have, what we've called borderless nations, but groupings of people that share culture, history, traditions, who have traditionally been marginalised in sports structures. And it's just wonderful to see Black Diaspora came in. We thought they were going to be, really, really strong. They've got an incredible roster and had some amazing games.
An incredible performance against Team Canada earlier in the tournament as well.
And running Argentina close to that quarter-final place. So Black Diaspora coming in, is going to be in that sort of top. I haven't got the list in front of me, so top 12, top 16 teams.
Yeah.
For a brand new to the World Cup, team, that's an incredible achievement.
Look at the fun they're having. Working up this crowd.
And I think it's worth remembering that they can't get together and train in the way that, say, Belgium can.
Absolutely. As they said in their own words, representing black skaters from around the world. Introducing themselves into the arena now, Team Brazil.
There we go, that's Team Brazil. As they were saying, this is Team Brazil's 4th World Cup. And to understand the commitment that they have to make to be able to get here. I mean, for example, some of the things they shared on the Power Through the Fourth Whistle podcast, sometimes it takes 14 hours on a night bus just to get to training.
Training is held in an outdoor place beneath an overpass, from what I remember.
Yeah, not a lot of skate shops, and skating equipment is very expensive. So it's when one of them goes to a tournament, they sort of fill a bag up and bring it home. And, as somebody who's based in the UK, I can't even imagine how much commitment you have to make in your life. You have to sacrifice everything to be able to do those, to make those sorts of commitments.
Absolutely. So these are one of the many South American and Latin American teams who have really made their passion and their joy for the game evident in this tournament.
I mean, I think I think much as we're saying this cup is the story of Europe, I think the next story is going to be Latin America. When you see teams, you know, we see, and we'll see many more teams over the next few minutes.
Our next team to be entering the stadium is Team Canada, and they have chosen to read a statement in place of celebrating with music. Canada Roller Derby, one of several teams at this tournament this week choosing to make spoken statements in replacement for their anthem.
And what I adore about roller derby is that we have that space and the ability to do that and say what matters to us. So up next we have it is Chile roller derby. Chile, I think, you know, the first day there was it's the second day, it was the Chile-Colombia game.
Yes, one of the games of the tournament.
Yes. Chile and Colombia on day 2, I think opened at 9 o'clock, and it was a 1-point game. And I think it was Chile who took the win. Yes, and we have to admit, we haven't got the results right in front of us. We were so busy running around, we forgot the bit that might be important. But it was Chile who also got to play the USA in this tournament, and just brought that, you know, fought for every single point. You know, it was such a demonstration of Chilean roller derby commitment, grit. It was a great game to watch.
Imagine getting the draw for the World Cup and seeing that you're up first against USA roller derby.
And I think it's also worth noting that Chile have a hard of hearing skater and are actually providing their statement also in sign language. Support from the audience here for that statement from Chile roller derby.
One of the team members from Chinese nations now introducing their team in languages of Cantonese and Mandarin.
Chinese nations.
I think they've been one of the tournament favourites, spirit-wise.
Absolutely.
Everybody who's played against them has commented on the joy and that they bring just to be representing their Chinese heritage from around the world.
Chinese nations are one of the newest sort of competitors. I think we had 11 or 12 new nations this time round. And they're just repeating the motto of the tournament motto, which is skates over states. I think a demonstration. So, you know, when we asked Chinese nations what this meant for them, is that it is a groundbreaking moment of representation. Many of the skaters are minorities in their home leagues, often the only ethnically Chinese skaters, and so this was hugely important to them.
Yeah, and a team made up of teammates spread across 3 different continents, which makes training, strategizing and building team cohesion through online communication one of the keys to building their team spirit. So when you can't necessarily train together, there's a whole lot of ways that you can still connect, and this little team with spirit has shown us that exactly.
I mean, just the sheer joy of being on track has come across in spades every time Chinese nations are on that jam line, and they have absolutely, hands down, the best merchandise. So one of the benefits of coming to the World Cup in person, and you should really think about it for the next one, is that all of the teams have a merchandise store, so you can go home and look like you've been to Chinese nations, Brazil, Norway.
Selección Colombia introducing their team.
Colombia entering entering the arena.
This team have invested more than 8 months of preparation on the track, in gyms, and have involved sports psychologists in their team preparation as well to help them work towards their performance at the Roller Derby World Cup.
So Colombia were at the 2014 World Cup in Dallas, but were not able to join us in Manchester in 2018. And again, it was that Chile-Colombia game, I think, was the closest game of the tournament. And it came down to the last 2 jams. And so their merchandise represented symbols and stories that matter to the team. So the condor, which means freedom and sovereignty, which has also been added into the Colombia Roller Derby logo.
Skaters on this team representing leagues from Bogota Bonebreakers, Capital Rats, Rose City Rollers, Combativas, Rock and Roller Queens and Black Rose Rollers. So again, what we've seen with many of these national teams, people with heritage from particular nations who may live anywhere across the globe are eligible to participate with their national teams.
So now bring on Team Czech Republic, now on track. So 2018 was their first appearance at the World Cup, where they came 31st out of 38 teams, and I think they've had a much stronger sort of results this time round. Unfortunately, as you can see, they've not necessarily had the best outcomes for all of their skaters.
But it is wonderful that this is an arena where everybody can participate. Are they hopping? I thought they were hopping.
They have. I do not know how they have the energy after 3 days of competition to be able to have this much, you know, sort of. Being able to be that excited.
We've played, these athletes have played 78 games of roller derby in the last 3.5 days.
It is It's been the largest roller derby event, single event that has ever been held. And I'm physically and emotionally exhausted, and I didn't even play.
When asked what this opportunity to play to represent Czech Republic at the Roller Derby World Cup means to them, it's a reward for years of hard work, passion and perseverance. Like in many other countries where roller derby doesn't have a large presence, the future seemed rather bleak just a few years ago. So being able to wear the Czech jersey is a symbol of our dedication and a celebration of how far the Czech Derby has come.
And that is, I think, the largest trans flag I've seen in some time. It's been such an important theme across this tournament. Roller Derby Denmark on the track. One of the smaller European teams.
Appearing at Roller Derby World Cups in 2014 and 2018, not progressing past the group stages.
But one of the loveliest European teams to play against and work with. And they have skaters from Denmark, France, Sweden, the UK, and possibly more. And they've been preparing by playing. They played Netherlands and they played Switzerland in the run-up to the World Cup.
But I do see a note there, their training squad was announced in December 2014, so that's a 6-month, December 2024. I've lost the ability to read.
It's been 10 years. And I think, you know, and again, it just shows that, you know, you don't have to be a large country to have, you know, a bench of people you can call on for a World Cup team.
Thank you for coming out and supporting Team Desi at our inaugural World Cup. For us, it wasn't about wins. It was to show that we are here to represent Desi skaters, show that we are there, we exist, there is a team for you if you are a Desi skater out there.
So Denmark in the World Cup. Oh, I got overtaken by events there.
Introducing themselves into the arena in their inaugural World Cup, one of our borderless teams, Team Desi. Borderless teams are made up of diasporic groups who have been marginalised and relocated throughout history and over time. In this case, sharing commonality of culture and heritage from India, Pakistan and Bangladesh.
So they actually debuted at Yule Stars tournament in the US in January. So this team has only been together for 7 months. And they played Babushka, with Babushka taking the win on day 2. And they played Iceland, and Iceland again taking the win. So I think Desi have had the most fun on track. And I think that sort of, you're pointing at something.
Yeah, one of their skaters is also visually impaired, so that's an added challenge for them to be able to skate on the roller derby track. There have been allowances made for the colours of track tape and extra tactile assistance for that skater as well. Yeah, it's absolutely heartening to see. And one of the bangingest anthems of any team here.
Absolutely, the crowd has been, you know, up and dancing every time that they've played. So, over to the next team.
Team of Finland. Oh, they've come up with a little something special.
Oh, we have a performance. Oh, there's a song and a performance. Oh, and it's my favourite anthem. Sandstorm by Darude is in fact 25 years old this year. Fun fact, every radio station in Finland played it at exactly the same time.
The reason they have a herring as their mascot is because in 2011 their uniforms were glittery, just like a fish.
Finland, one of the teams usually jostling for position. In 2011 they came 5th. In 2014 they came 6th. In 2018 they came 5th, and this is their first time, sadly, out of the top 8, because that loss to Belgium meant that they didn't make it into the top 8. But it doesn't look like that's diminished their fun any on this track. So Finland with wins against Germany, and they also just having a look here on our lovely sheets from our lovely announcing colleagues. Yeah, and it was that win against Belgium that was the key for them.
Another one of our diaspora teams announcing themselves into the stadium at the moment. Fuego Latino, made up from displaced skaters, not displaced skaters, correction, made up from skaters around the world representing Latin American teams.
Apologies for that statement for the language in that statement if you heard it. So Fuego Latino had a tough day 1 or day 2 because they were playing USA, but the score reflected the strength of Fuego Latino. USA held to winning to only 266 points, with Fuego Latino picking up 4. Fuego Latino also had one of the games of day 1 where they played Wales and they won by just 8 points, which was, and that was such a roller coaster of a game because Wales were coming back hard in those last few minutes, but Fuego able to keep the win. And then on day 3, Fuego Latino played Chinese Nations, winning 407-23. And it's amazing how with just a few teams already in, it is starting to fill up in here.
I have just been handed a note, though. We have our teams marshalling outside, and it's starting to rain.
Right, okay. So they're bringing... we're trying to speed this up a little, I believe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is Team Germany.
Calling themselves Team Germany.
So we are all many for many people.
The thing Team Germany wanted to be remembered for in this tournament, a diverse group of people where everyone adds value with their own unique talents and personality. Visible in our jersey design where everyone was able to select their own colours for the highlights.
So Team Germany, one of the longest standing teams. In 2011, they were 9th. In 2014, they were in the group stages. In 2018, they came 13th. Their day 1 here, they were playing Finland, with Finland winning 284-90. On day 2, Germany were playing Salam, with Germany taking the win. And yesterday, Germany played against Portugal again, with taking the win in that occurrence. And as you would expect, a little bit of German techno, or hope anyway. So, and actually Germany were the host of, and if you got to see it, Bang Boom Bangarang back in January, a tournament with 5 nations.
Amazing.
It had its own song written and performed, which was actually annoyingly catchy. So I recommend looking that up if you have time.
Introducing themselves into the arena now, Team Greece.
Hello, Innsbruck. We're Team Greece, representing Greece and Cyprus at the Olympiaworld. American family from Cyprus who also are here. Yeah, sorry. We also want to say that we stand with Palestine. Coming from occupied countries, we feel the need of support. So we want to go around the track silent for all the lives that have been lost, the lives that will be lost, and for the lives that we hope that we may save one day. Thank you.
So Team Greece announcing that they will be making their lap of the arena in silence, without music.
Sorry, we had to go off mic. That was an incredibly emotional moment.
I'm not sure if you saw that on your streams at home, folks. The entire audience and athlete contingent in this arena silently applauding.
There's been a lot of emotions over the last 4 days, but that was incredibly powerful. Back to the humour. So we have Team Iceland.
Team Iceland entering the Roller Derby World Cup in 2018, ending in 36th position.
So Iceland have a geographical challenge. There is one nation and one roller derby league, so they're very much the same thing. And the way that they cope with their geographical not isolation, but sort of distance, is that they ask teams to come over and play them and basically host them and give them a tour of Iceland, and they go out and ask for officials to come over, and they provide, and you ask any of the people who've been here, the best time. So if you if you want to go and visit Iceland and you're in a roller derby league, arrange a game, because you will have an incredible time, and you will help develop Icelandic roller derby.
Well, we'll be checking the prices for airline tickets, Hobart to Reykjavik.
That might be a little bit far, but
I'm sure we can work something out.
yeah. And so, joining in 2018, I actually saw them at their first tournament in the European Roller Derby tournament in 2016, and seeing how far they've come at this tournament from that time, it's been a real privilege. You can just see that effort in bringing people to them has really paid off. So, and they actually say that this means to them that the World Cup is more than a tournament, as proof that even from a tiny island in the North Atlantic, they show up loud, proud, and ready to cause beautiful mayhem on the track.
The next team about to enter the arena and introduce themselves, another one of our diaspora teams, Indigenous Rising. Representation, Indigenous people, cultures and communities are still here and fighting against erasure. We are present, fighting and thriving.
We are committed to strengthening the sport of flat track roller derby, the athletes who play it, and the indigenous peoples throughout the hemisphere by representing First Nations people in tournaments around the world.
Actually, the first borderless diasporic team was Team Indigenous Rising, who were actually at the 2018 World Cup in Manchester. Again, Indigenous Rising keen to share with us a better understanding of their values and what brings them together.
But also here having an amazing time at the Roller Derby World Cup, bringing an amazing energy. Sharing a performance with us now, but they also have a team soup chat where they share soup recipes.
I want Indigenous Rising soup, please. And because of the nature covering, again, multiple continents, having to do tryouts through videos, don't get to train together. They have been playing games in North American tournaments like No Borders and the All-Stars, but it's very much a sort of rolling roster of people who are available to compete, as opposed to a set sort of 20 roster. That's Team Ireland entering the track. One of the original founding teams of the World Cup. And their catchphrase, where's the crack?
Crack is here.
Only in roller derby. So Ireland taking the track. As we said, one of the founder teams of the World Cup, competing in 2011 when they came 10th. In 2014, they came 14th. And in 2018, they were in the round of 16. Here in the World Cup in Innsbruck, Austria, they faced that Ireland-Argentina game on day one. That was fantastic with Argentina.
That was a great game to watch.
Yeah, Argentina taking the win there. And in day two, Ireland were, I was like, that's not Ireland, that's Iceland on my list. Ireland will play, Ireland, Mexico. Ireland have had really interesting games. I think, unfortunately, they haven't been able to progress in the tournament, but they've been such fun to watch.
Well, I certainly think they've met some of their goals. They're stoked to play, cheer, meet derby pals and make new ones. And with the draw they've had and the games they've played and all of the people in this S1 arena today.
They've played Germany, West Indies, Scotland and Wales in their preparation. Team Italy leading the entire stadium in a chant. Which you don't even need to lead, the whole audience is now taking it forward.
Sorry guys, but we know that by being here at the World Cup, we can have the Italian roller derby movement grow and make the Italian roller derby thrive. We're super proud to be here today representing our country. We're Italian
Team Italy I think, leading the crowd engagement of the teams. And also have, and I can tell you this, you know, some of the most popular merchandise. They skate until the pasta is ready, is the T-shirt in demand. And one of the teams that chose not to use their traditional national anthem, but something that spoke more to them and, you know, their values, which was around anger, desire, resistance, and dignity.
I'm really loving the fact that all of these teams are choosing to take a moment to introduce themselves in their language for all of their friends and family and teammates.
Team Japan, a perennial favourite at the World Cup. 2018 was their first showing. And I think that at that point it was quite a small team, and there is roller derby in Japan and it's growing, but they have actually included 13 skaters from outside of Japan of Japanese descent. 7 of the team train and skate in Japan, and they cover you know, sort of the US. I believe there's somebody from UK, you know, so again, one of these teams is really widely spread, can't train together.
So often using Discord and shared videos of practices to work on team strategies and plays.
And there's usually a fight for their merch, which I believe features a cat. And they have had 1 hour of training together, which was sort of Tuesday, Wednesday preparation before the World Cup started on Thursday. And they want to be remembered that Japan has proven that roller derby can connect our hearts.
Jewish roller derby introducing themselves now. One of our diaspora teams made up from skaters around the world representing a shared heritage and connection.
We stand in solidarity with all other borderless teams and are here to say we will outlive them. Mir werden sie überleben. And with one more word.
Jewish roller derby playing for the first time at No Borders Derby in March 2025.
And they have had the song that's been getting everybody dancing. Here we go.
Jewish roller derby wanting to be remembered as fierce opponents who are tenacious, steadfast and focused.
And to show the strength of them. In their first day they played Belgium. Belgium, a top 8 team. It was 116 to Jewish roller derby and 251 to Belgium. So that just shows the comparative strength of this brand new team.
And I'm sure they cleared that move with the safety personnel on site before they...
I'm just looking at our games tournament oversight, who doesn't look like it was cleared in advance, I have to say. But very strong showing in this World Cup. Jewish roller derby is definitely here.
Team Korea introducing themselves to the audience at the moment. Skaters from the Korean diaspora from the United States of America, Australia and Canada.
Our team is small, but we hope that our team can inspire more Koreans to come and join roller derby, especially young Koreans, because our average age is 43.
And with some statistics as well. Their average age is 43.
And they're very proud of the fact that their average height is under 5'3". And as a member of the 5'3" club, I'm happy with that.
Wanting to be remembered as being fierce underdogs and fun to play with. Yeah. What a goal to enter a tournament with.
And over 141 years of roller derby experience among this small team, including one of our announcing crews, who managed to play and announce the fabulous Muffin Tumble.
Speaking of, huge props to the announcer team who are currently wrangling the teams and organising this parade into the stadium.
You can just see how much this means. We were genuinely concerned that none of the teams would want to introduce themselves on the microphone, and it is incredibly moving to see how they have all grabbed that opportunity to talk to us about who they are and what they believe. Looking
at this pile of paper in front of us, though, we've still got a lot of teams to get into here. Next, alphabetically, after Team Korea, Team Latvia. Home leagues of Riga Roller Derby and Old Riki,
Scotland,
Peterborough, Diamond Valley,
California, Diamond Valley,
in Australia, in Melbourne,
and Sweden. Only one league in Latvia, so very similar to Iceland.
The uniforms were designed by one of their players.
So Team Latvia said that just being at this event was a dream. The ability to have enough skaters to build a team of folks dedicated to this sport, and the amount of work each skater has put in to make this crazy plan come to fruition, was their words, on the world stage, is really just the biggest win, regardless of what happens with the games. Latvia actually played this morning. I believe it was Salam that they were playing in their final game. They've also played the Philippines, with the Philippines winning 464-6 for Latvia. And they've also played Taiwan, and that was a really close game. So Team Taiwan with 178, Latvia with 158. So that, and those kinds of games, are the ones you really, you just sort of learn the most, but it inspires you to come back and, hopefully in 4 years' time.
Team Mexico attending the Roller Derby World Cup 2025 means for them inspiration, motivation, and showing what they're capable of as skaters and a team.
Competing in 2014, where they were in the group stage, and in 2018, where they were 15th. Mexico, I think, one of the stronger teams that, because they were in that potential to make it into the top 8. There were a number of teams that were we won't get into the details, but there were a number of teams that could have made that sort of...
It was in reach for them.
It was in reach for them, and if you think they were 15th in 2018, that just shows the progress in Mexico. And they've been training since February, and they've also They're also joining all World Cups this year for the first time because they're looking at the Men's World Cup and the Junior.
And the Juniors coming up in a couple of weeks in Brisbane.
Yes.
Needless to say, Team Netherlands have a considerable amount of support here in the stadium this weekend.
The spectators have always been easily identifiable in flocks of head-to-toe orange spectators running around.
Also selecting a high-energy song to represent their team.
So Team Netherlands competed in 2014, coming 16th. We're in the round of 16, sorry. And in 2018, they came 21st. In this competition, they were ranked in that lower half of the sort of teams, but were very much competing at the top of that. And that showed that because they, on day 3, were actually played France because they'd won both of their games on day 1 and day 2. And I think just about still have the largest points differential against Team Taiwan.
Yeah, and it was that game against France where France made it through to the round of 8.
It was indeed. And I believe Netherlands have been bribing the audience and everyone with vast amounts of stroopwafels. They've given us some. They're in our little back office area. And they've actually used the Roller Derby World Cup to get the word out about roller derby in the Netherlands, and they've had lots and lots of interviews with local papers and magazines. And there's a radio station that actually provided most of their GoFundMe and gave them thousands of euros to help them cover the costs to come here. And we welcome on track Team New Zealand. What an entrance.
Team New Zealand been building their national team for the last couple of years, regularly train and play together, not just at this World Cup. So it's one of the handful of teams that do have the ability to regularly train and build their strength.
And competed in all 4 Roller Derby World Cups. Now 2011 they came 8th, and I think there was only 11 or 13 teams that were the founders. 2014 they came 5th, and 2018 they came 10th. So traditionally strong results from New Zealand. And in 2025 New Zealand they played Spain in their first game and beat Spain, that was the surprise of day 1. So many games. I was so excited at the time. I'd almost forgotten. They actually went against the rankings expectations and beating Spain. And that generated them a game with Australia on day 2. That's right. You were there for that.
That's right, the old Australia-New Zealand matchup. Team Norway introducing themselves to the audience here on the S1 track. skaters on Team Norway representing Ann Arbor Roller Derby, Oslo Roller Derby, Bergen Roller Derby, Yellow Rose Roller Derby, Crime City Roller Derby, Nidaros Roller Derby, Arctic Roller Derby and Philadelphia Roller Derby. So lots of skaters with Norwegian heritage coming together to form a nationally representative team.
So Norway playing South Africa, 261 to Norway, and South Africa 83 on day 1. And on day 2, Norway's game was against Italy, and Italy winning that game. And this is a team that competed in 2014 in the round of 16. 2018 they were 20th. So I think it just shows again the relative strengths in teams in Europe has got a bit all over the place.
One of the nice notes I see here is that one of the skaters' mothers, Torcha, has joined the team at every World Cup that they've attended.
Dedicated spectators are everything, and I have been just blown away by the amount of, you know, not just flags that you see, but, you know, ridiculous hats or, you know, representing aspects of their team support and culture.
Team Philippines are a national team, but they describe themselves as representing the Filipino diaspora, made up of skaters of Filipino heritage from around the globe. And looking at that list of skaters and their home leagues, there are lots of different leagues and countries represented.
They first competed in 2018 in Manchester, where they came 17th. And again, another one of those teams where they have to try out and train via video. So they've trained within their local leagues, virtual meetings on strategy and footage review and playbooks, and had to fundraise in their local communities to get here. So Team Philippines at their core is Bayanihan, collective and strength and support that pushes us forward as one. And they skate for each other and for every Filipino watching. This is more than sport, it is representation.
And I'm really loving the unique way that each team is choosing to represent themselves.
The amount of effort that has gone into the choreography here from the number of teams.
Absolutely. It's been wonderful to see.
And fun fact, the Philippines' first game against Latvia, they had 2 jammers mainly, so the jammers with most points, because the Philippines had such a convincing win, are actually Filipino. Are from Team Philippines.
Another one of our European teams introducing themselves at the moment, Team Poland.
Thank you so much to all of you guys. Pierogi Power.
Pierogi Power is the chant of Team Poland, and they have a lot of unbelievably beautiful merchandise.
Absolutely.
Demonstrating Pierogi Power.
Attending the Roller Derby World Cup for Team Poland means different for all. It's a great opportunity to gain popularity for Polish roller derby, which is a very niche sport in Poland.
There's about 5 to 7 active teams, and some are starting or restarting after the break, after the pandemic. And they believe that not only is Pierogi Power, it's good for before, during and after games, and they sell homemade crochet pierogi keychains to fundraise to get here.
Team Poland really focused on bringing mainly Polish-based athletes, with only one of their players coming from outside of Poland with Polish heritage.
I'm also really finding it emotional seeing teams who decide to come together in that circle and celebrate that moment. And then, oh, I would not like to attempt that. I would have had to fall over and get some assistance to get back up.
That's why they're roller derby athletes.
Why
and
I'm
you
not.
and I are not. Team Portugal preparing to make their way into the arena. Their preparation for this Roller Derby World Cup, despite living far apart, they've stayed connected, having regular training weekends, online strategy sessions, and lots of communication. So they're a very connected team.
And they had tryouts, I think the earliest we've seen so far, May 2023. So they've been training together as a team now for 2 years. And I think that's, you know, that's just such an investment of time for any skater and the family and friends around that skater. Portugal played Slovenia on day 1, and on day 2 they were against Team Netherlands. So they won against Slovenia, Netherlands beating them. Team Portugal. Huge cheer for Puerto Rico.
This crowd loves them some Spanish language. Team Puerto Rico, again with a long list of skaters from outside the country, from right across the world.
They did the call to try out in November 24, and they sort of came back after the pandemic at RollerCon in 2024 when they played Team Philippines. So Puerto Rico competed in 2014, but were not able to take their invitation in 2018 due to the, you know, if you remember the awful adverse weather event in Puerto Rico at the time, they weren't able to be in Manchester, so we are delighted to see them back here on track with us in Innsbruck, Austria.
And again, been one of the teams that a lot of their opposition teams have commented on their spirit and their willingness to come and have fun. Learn from the competition,
and they've had some success on track. So they beat Slovenia yesterday, and that was 150 to 129. And on day 2, they also won against Poland. So in terms of those sort of newer teams or teams we don't see so regularly, Puerto Rico have had some real success. That's Team Puerto Rico. And we've actually almost got everybody sat around the track. I think we're going to have to go back and...
Yeah, I think we're going to need to do another layer of teams seated around this track, introducing themselves at the moment. Another one of our diaspora teams, Salam Roller Derby. a borderless team representing skaters with history and background connected them to the Middle East.
We are united by the shared experience of being impacted by global colonialism and its attendant violence, as well as for many of us living in the West, Islamophobia that impacts both Muslim and Muslim individuals. Salam originated in the aftermath of October 7th in the iteration of Israel's ethnic cleansing and land grab against Palestine and Palestinians that has now spread to other smaller regions.
So, as you said, Salam roller derby representing Southwest Asian and North African region. They're diverse by definition, with different national backgrounds, religions and linguistic communities. They aren't as homogenous as we may have seen from other teams, but they represent a particular area that has that diversity, even though it is one region.
United by a shared experience of being impacted by colonialism and its attendant violence. For many people living in the West, Islamophobia that impacts both Muslim and Muslim-assumed individuals. Salam's politics are directly shaped by these experiences. And you can see that all of the teams and audience members standing.
Because this region does include the area of Palestine. And the audience on its feet in support of the message.
Team Scotland introducing themselves into the arena now. A vocal contingent of supporters for Team Scotland. And we're seeing some incredible scenes here at the moment. Team Scotland performing a dance to their national song.
I know many teams have chosen songs that they believes represent them, in a more modern fashion, but there is just something about Flower of Scotland. It stirs my heart anyway.
It's very stirring. Yeah. You can see multiple Scottish flags being waved high around the audience members in this stadium.
So Scotland on day one played Sweden. That was a tough game. Sweden with 335 and Scotland on 63. And on day two, Scotland. I'm looking down my list. I can't see Scotland. They definitely did play. They played Austria, and that's a tough audience to play the host.
Team Slovenia they're debuting at the World Cup.
And I think with the shortest roster, just 13 skaters from Slovenia here in Austria. And most of them are from roller derby Ljubljana, others from Bear City in France, in Austria, Italy and the USA.
If you can see the creature on their team uniforms, it's an olm or a human fish, which is an endemic cave crawler from Slovenia.
And it felt it represented them, as they are a small but resilient team, and they feel like the journey has finally paid off in trying to keep roller derby alive in Slovenia. And they're using the World Cup as a huge motivation to keep pushing forward. They're most excited to experience the inspiring energy of the global derby community in person and to play against teams who might have a different style than theirs. And you can see there their mascot, which is the on, as you said.
People used to believe they were baby dragons, according to the notes.
They had their first scrimmage just 2 months ago.
Yeah, they've got a coaching team of 4 who've been preparing weekly online practice sessions for them.
And it is wonderful to see, I think particularly you know, the smaller nations in Europe starting to build roller derby.
Absolutely. Another one of our long-distance travellers about to introduce themselves, Team South Africa. Made it to the group stage in 2014 and placed 35th in the 2018. 16,000 kilometres the distance travelled.
There are only 2 leagues in South Africa, and they are 200 kilometres away from each other. And so 10 people on a roster is a luxury. And they have so 3 international skaters, 4 from Cape Town, and the rest are from Golden City, one of whom has never been on a plane until they came to Austria. Their goals were to win at least 1 game, and they played Norway, where Norway were the winners. And on day 2, South Africa played Chinese nations, and again Chinese nations taking the win. And then on day 3 they played Ireland, and that was a tough game. That was a tough game.
Team South Africa stating that they want to be remembered for geese and vibes. South African words capturing the essence of who they are.
Also vuvuzelas. We have a strict timetable to make on this event, because we have got the 3rd and 4th playoffs looming in approximately 1 hour.
Team Spain entering the arena at the moment.
Speaking in 3 languages, Spanish, Catalan and English. And only 6 people from Team Spain were here at the previous World Cup in 2018.
They've been working on fitness, on their mental game and on their team bonds, developing strategies that fit the team, analysing a lot of footage in the lead up to the World Cup.
And Spain have been travelling all over Europe for competition to prepare for this. They played at Bang Boom Bangarang, the tournament that was hosted by Germany, playing Scotland, Belgium, Germany and Italy. And the only time they didn't win was that game. There was an incredible game against Belgium. Spain 150, Belgium 156. So Team Spain on day 1 were part of that sort of upset of a match with New Zealand taking the win there. That was the word I was looking for. And Spain are hosting a party. We have a party in the middle of the track.
Again, the unique ways that every team is choosing to represent their values and their message and who they are. in this, their opportunity to present themselves to the world.
And the other team's getting up and dancing with them.
Silence is complicity. Those with privilege must speak up and take action. No one is free until everyone is free. We will dance for those who think.
Team Sweden introducing themselves.
With, I mean, I've been singing this to myself now. It's been stuck in my head since I heard it on day one. For those of you who are not aware, this is Euphoria by Loreen, the best Eurovision song that has ever been. Bob's laughing at me now, but
I've been hearing about Euphoria all weekend. But bringing the party again to the Roller Derby World Cup. Coming to you live from the Olympia Hall in Innsbruck in Austria. We are here in the S1 track.
we're together until the end of time. Well, hopefully less than an hour. There are people dancing right up at the top of the stands. I'm not sure that's safe, but everybody is absolutely loving this.
Both sides of this S1 track opened up for spectator seating today, so we are going to be at capacity for our finals games once all these athletes disperse back into the stands as well.
So Sweden making it through to the quarterfinals. Traditionally a strong team in the top 8, were 7th in 2018, 7th in 2014.
Team Switzerland just making their statement and introduction. For Team Switzerland, their Derby dream is coming true by attending the Roller Derby World Cup 2025. The chance to proudly represent the amazing Swiss Derby community and finally share the track with fantastic players we've been admiring from afar. What a lovely goal.
Again, quite sort of one of the, although have been around for a long time, I think that, they were in 2014, they played in the group stage. In 2018, they were 28th. And in day one, they were playing Poland and scored 402 points, Poland scoring 35. On day 2, they played Iceland, Iceland with 80, Switzerland with 308. So they've had some very strong results and shows that growth. And you start to see this with teams where this is their second or third World Cup. They know what you need to do. They know how to build a team, when to build one. Do you start training 2 years or do you start training in 6 months? Because there's pros and cons on both.
And we've got evidence of both from different teams here in the tournament, haven't we?
So Switzerland demonstrating what the biggest thing they were looking forward to is making new Derby friends from around the globe who share their passion for the sport.
They have sure done that.
Response for Team Taiwan coming onto the track. First time that they've had a presence in roller derby. And they're a diasporic team of just 14 skaters competing on the world stage under a team name you won't see in other international sports settings due to Taiwan's contested status as an independent nation. They're showcasing athleticism, inspiring skaters of Asian descent, building a community for underrepresented athletes. They're striving to use their platform to raise awareness of Taiwan and promote the sport of roller derby in Asian countries.
And even here at the Roller Derby World Cup, we have had some learnings of our own this weekend using the international, the Olympic standard abbreviation code that has formally represented Taiwan as Chinese Taipei.
Yes, which is not who this team here are today. And it started with a Reddit post, "Is anyone here Taiwanese?" And now we have 14 skaters representing Team Taiwan.
I can't quite make out what is that little mascot they've brought with them.
In case you didn't hear that, Team Taiwan saying their biggest shout out is to their ancestors. And we are running, as ever with these things, slightly over, so we're having to make sure that we move the teams through quickly as we have that third, fourth playoff coming fairly shortly. Team USA Roller Derby have not used music during this whole tournament. There is a statement that they would like to share with the roller derby community.
And the text for that statement is available on USA Roller Derby social media pages.
Huge support for that statement, not just today but throughout the whole tournament.
USA Roller Derby sending a small contingent of representatives because their athletes are well into their preparation routines for the final game.
Incredibly powerful statement from USA Roller Derby, and we would very much recommend checking out their statement in detail on their social media.
Team Vietnam Roller Derby make their way onto the S1 track.
One of the new teams in this World Cup, not having competed before. And it's a chance for them to represent their Vietnamese heritage in a very white sport. None of them have ever played in a team with only Vietnamese people before, and many of the players have never been in a sports environment with so many fellow Asians, and they found that incredibly exciting.
They were hoping to have been able to practice together 5 times before the Roller Derby World Cup 2025.
And they want to be remembered for exceeding expectations. Their first roster had only 9 skaters, and they have only 15 on the charter now. They call themselves the little team that could.
I love that.
And they've been sharing tips for authentic Vietnamese food, mainly in the US. And their jersey, the red jersey with the yellow apricot blossom is from South Vietnam, and their white jersey with the pink peach blossom represents North Vietnam. I think you may have to take the next team. I may be a little emotional.
Team Vietnam Roller Derby celebrating their attendance at Roller Derby World Cup 2025. Liam Neeson from our announcer crew, currently introducing Team Wales to the S1 Stadium at Roller Derby World Cup 2025. Team Wales, 3rd appearance at a World Cup, making it to the group stage in 2014, an 11th position in 2018, I apologise.
And we were actually honoured to be able to include Welsh language commentary in our coverage of the Wales games. And Liam ending with his statement with a song that represents, has been particularly adopted, Umara Ohid, which means this is our place, which is around particularly the football, Welsh football.
And arguably one of the most moving anthems by any of the teams here at the World Cup.
We not only have the best flag, we have the best anthem.
Performed by the Welsh Men's Choir.
It's the London Welsh Males Welsh Choir. And I think it's important for many people who do not realise that Wales has its own language. They think that it's part of the UK. We all speak English. Minority languages are something that are really important. In Wales, it's not a minority language. They have equal status.
A little bit of a change of a pace now as we introduce Team West Indies. Skaters from Dominica, Guyana, Jamaica, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados and Haiti. West Indies representation at the Roller Derby World Cup is their 3rd World Cup, and it never gets less exciting for them, according to their statement.
I remember in 2014, their first game against the national team was in Newport, South Wales, on the road to Dallas, and they were using the Macarena as their first team to really choose to use a song that represented who they were rather than a traditional anthem. Have absolutely brought the fun to the track. Had a game against USA on day 2 and made the USA work really hard for the points that they won. but we're clearly having the best time.
They have the crowd on their feet again. We Are the West Indies, the anthem that they've chosen.
The West Indies does compete internationally, which is why we see them as a collective here. Oh, sorry, internationally in sport, in other sports. And we have just one team left. I don't know how they're going to come in after a reception like that, but I think it might even be bigger.
Yeah, traditionally in this sort of thing, the host nation comes in last, and we are about to introduce to the S1 track here at Olympiaworld in Innsbruck, Austria, Team Austria. West Indies make their way to their formation position. We have nearly 1,000 skaters arranged around this S1 track right now.
I do not know how they fitted in. It's incredible. But now, please welcome the hosts of the 2025 Roller Derby World Cup. There are so many people standing, I can't even see where they are. So I think we're just having a slight AV setup issue. Because I think Team Austria have a performance for us. Got to make sure we have the right music in place for them. And here we go. Please welcome Team Austria.
Amongst the messages supported by the hosts in this tournament, skates over states and trans people belong in sports have been strong among those messages.
And actually held a Skates Over States parade on Wednesday evening as part of the opening of this World Cup.
As the hosts, they've said that it's an incredible opportunity to show the world that roller derby exists in Austria across the country. They have a tight-knit derby community that comes together regularly for the national champs and supports each other in many ways, but training and competition as one unified team for the World Cup has taken that connection to a deeper level.
And they were most looking forward to, because we only knew the day one matchups in advance, that they were looking forward to playing Team France as a once-in-a-lifetime chance to play against the stars they look up to. And they did celebrate every single point that they make. They've been working on strength, endurance, and how we play. And a huge, huge thank you from everybody here for the commitment. The Fearless Bruisers of Innsbruck are the host league. They number 36 skaters and supporters who have helped to put on this incredible 4-day, 5-track event. So I think Innsbruck just offered to host the next World Cup. But they also wanted to thank everybody for coming to Innsbruck. So my colleague Bob de Quickly just making us reflect on this incredible experience over the last 90 minutes. Oh yes, and we are now arranging for a photograph of all of the skaters. We do this traditionally at every World Cup, and every World Cup the amount of skaters in the pictures increases. There were 38 teams in Manchester. I believe it was around 28 teams in Dallas. There were 11, I think, in 11 or 13 in 2011, and we are now 48 national and borderless teams have come to Innsbruck. So when you think the first time that they took that photograph, they would all fit on the infield. Now they don't even fit on a normal track and have to go into the ref lanes to get everybody in. One of the reasons I'm here and I do this is that roller derby is a really special community, and seeing all these skaters come together and introduce themselves in the way that they have over the last hour and a half has just reiterated how unique a community it is, and all of these wonderful people who've brought us joy, thrills and spills over the last 4 days. So we're about to raise the house lights so that we can take the picture of all the skaters. Here we go. So you might see a change. So bringing the lights up for the photographers. From our perspective sat here, all we can see are just hands in the audience go back as far as the eye can see.
The athletes in the arena at the moment getting an en masse photograph taken by our tournament head photographers, and all of the photographers lined up on the stage at the moment.
And that does bring our team parade to an end. We hope you have been as moved, inspired, as we have been over the last 90 or so minutes.
Absolutely energising to see these teams represent themselves and who they are.
I think I need to go away and lie down in a quiet room for a bit to feel my feelings.
But stick around, folks. We are now 30 minutes away from the 3rd and 4th place match, which is between England and France.
It is between England and France.
That's coming up right here on the live stream. If you haven't got your live stream yet and you're watching us on YouTube, head to rollerderbyworldcup.live. You can still purchase a streaming pass.
For today, you just need today.
Yeah.
Unless you want to buy all 4 and go back and because you can watch previous days and games. And you can catch up on all the action that you have missed. Also, if you haven't, check out our community Discord server. Search Roller Derby World Cup 2025 on Discord and join 3,600 other people talking about what's on the track here in front of us.
If you're watching us at home, folks, you can see the sparkle. Our announcer theme for outfits today was Bring the Sparkle.
Yes, I unfortunately could not fit my tiara and my headphones, but you may see even more glitter as we progress through the today's festivities.
Thanks so much for joining us if you're watching us at home. My name is Bob de Quickly, all the way from Tasmania.
And I am Dork Mistress from Cymru, Wales.
Thank you so much for joining us, and see you again soon.